Well, this video is going to be a video mainly directed at the unicorn head religiotards who basically follow Buddhism, and this corrupted fucker is their pope. And he's just nothing but a corrupted old pedophile, and anything that he says of any worth is scripted, and that is why when he just speaks at functions, he's just a babbling old fool that everybody laughs at and think is just an endearing old man, and that's just his appearance when he's actually an evil fuck, and he's a pedophile, and he's basically corrupting the philosophy of Buddhism because they have removed God and made themselves gods, and they have hidden the truth about the Buddhas, which are in fact divine man and woman, are the Buddhas, and mortal man can attain godlike characteristics and immortality like the Buddhas and be enlightened. However, it is not something that one merely decides. It's all based on the light a soul carries and whether that soul is deemed worthy to enter the new age, the new year. Zep Tepi. Enlightenment. Card 21 on the tarot. And so their job is to keep you away from that, because they know that they won't inherit the kingdom, and they know that they will not experience Zep Tepi, and so they want to drag as many of you down the abyss with them as they can. I mean, you only have to see the symbolism. Blindfolds, look at the star, six-pointed. These people have taken control of all of the philosophies and corrupted them and used them to lead you off the path. And they've done this to the unicorn heads and given them the belief that they are their own gods and manifest their own reality, and if they only focus on the positive, then they can manifest the positive and the negative will just magically go away. And this is just a delusion, and for anyone to believe that they can just ignore the negative and it is just going to somehow magically fix itself because they're meditating on raising the vibration of Mother Earth, it is nothing more than deluding themselves, like the Christians who go down the church every Sunday and pray to a man they think is going to come down from the clouds, and they pray to a God they think is a man in the clouds. They don't understand who they are and that God is within them and Christ is within them and their divinity is within them. So again, they're no different. They're no different. They're just as ignorant as the unicorn heads who deny their own divinity because they actually believe they are gods and they have turned their back on their creator. And so they've turned their back on their divinity, because how can you turn your back on the source of your divinity and the source of your greatness? You can't. So they've just deluded themselves, and they've been allowed to delude themselves with help from this corrupted piece of shit, which is their Pope. And in fact, he's not this peaceful, loving old man that is just so endearing. He's a pedophile. His organisation is full of pedophiles. It is well known that there is pedophilia actually rampant through these monasteries. If you actually go and do any of the research, you will find plenty of information about the problem with pedophilia with Buddhist monks. And here's their king pedophile of the Buddhists, and he says nothing. I have never even heard the Dalai Lama address pedophilia within his organisation. But they've got him in Dallas at the moment, of course, Texas, star of the 5 points, 5-pointed star. And this is why they use Texas. Texas also deduces to 15 when you do the numerology on Texas. 15 is the devil card. This is why they play out so much of their stuff in Texas. They do nothing randomly. All of these cities in the US, all of the cities in Australia, and even the UK to some extent, but mainly Australia and the US, they have not done any of this randomly with cities and towns and the names of cities and towns and their locations and their coordinates, because it's all based on the esoteric knowledge and the occult knowledge. This is how deep and how big this conspiracy against mankind actually goes. And so, you know, Dallas is the north of Texas, and north, they don't like north. There's a lot of information that people don't see when they just look at the surface, but when you understand the esoteric, when you understand the number codes, the symbolism, what it relates to, you can see what they're doing. And this is what I do and the other adepts do that are in the Code Breakers group. We just decode all of these articles and we continuously show these same numbers being used over and over again in all of their fuckery. But people just don't want to do the work and go and inform themselves with the sciences. That's what it comes down to. They just want to be told. And so if you come to my channel and just want to be told what to believe, then you're in the wrong place. You need to go and find your information elsewhere and go and get someone else to tell you what to believe. Because I'm just using the sciences and the philosophies and the esoteric information to decode and understand the movements of the Antichrist. If you're not interested in doing the same thing, then really I don't understand why you're here. Please don't comment. Please don't spend time to write to me. I will either just not approve your comment or I just won't answer. You know, I just don't want to have to deal with people that just repeat what somebody's told them, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm using independent research, independent thinking. When you just actually comment with information about something you've heard from David Icke, something you've heard from another research, you are actually not doing any independent research. That is not the type of channel, that is not the type of study we do with this information, with this knowledge. You misunderstand what this knowledge is. You are not able to see the motivation behind why we seek knowledge the way we do and why it must always have to be aligned with the laws and the principles. So we use hermetics and we use the other occult sciences that everything has to actually correlate with before we can accept it as factual or dismiss it, or we are unsure and we just leave it as open. But we deduce the information based on our own reasonings, using the sciences. We don't just follow what somebody has told us or somebody thinks or believes. And so this is why I just want to be clear with people who follow my channel that you understand this is what I do and this is what the other students of these teachings do. And so we really just don't want to hear what you think, because we know that this man is the Antichrist. We know that he's working with the other Antichrist over in the US. That's why he's over there. That's why on the 22nd of September, Francis, the head Jesuit, will be over there. And you can basically see Franny, and I like to say Franny and Pope, cunt, because I like to disrespect them. And I never capitalise their names because I totally disrespect them all the time. And this is what you must do. Give them no relevance. Take them down a peg or two because they think they are so influential. And they're not. They're just nothing but tars who have taken control because they have made people believe an illusion. He gives the illusion of a peaceful old man that runs a peaceful old philosophy and belief system. No, the Buddhas are actually only divine man and woman. Nobody can be a Buddha unless you're a god. Mortals can be Buddha-like, can attain enlightenment through the path of the heart, but they have to be judged. They have to go through the weighing of the heart ceremony before Zep Tepi, before they'll be enlightened. Card 21 on the tarot. So really, they have sent you into the ditch in the belief that you are your own gods and remove the creator, when no, you are part of the creator's experience. We are all part of a world soul, and there are divine amongst that world soul. And if you are not divine, then you have to walk the way of the heart and the path of truth, absolutely, to be in alignment with natural law and your creator to experience enlightenment, because your creator and universal law and the light you carry within you is what will determine whether you enlighten and whether you get that crown. It's not a given. It's not just because someone decides they want to go and meditate for 5 years in a cave, or they want to go and research all the sciences and the esoteric, and then they feel that they have rightfully earned a place to be enlightened. This is not the case, because it has to be reflected in your heart. You have to be learning this because you want to share your light with others and for the good of the all and for creation. This is what the Ace of Cups represents in the tarot. The more that you give, the more flows into the cup. You're a conduit. And people understand that because that's what's happened. They've removed that and they've basically replaced it with money. And for a while, money works in this time of the cycle. But it can't be depended on because it's artificial. And so this is part of the programming. People cannot actually understand a system where we live without money. I really feel sorry for people that can't understand that and don't understand that's how we actually live when we're in alignment with creation, and it's basically how we normally live, except for when we're in the Iron Age and we have these assholes taking control. And so they only have their illusion to take control of people, so they use money. Money replaces God, and they can buy people for any price. And so all of these people are just so impressed by the appearance of these people when they're all evil. And they have no understanding who they're really following. In fact, it's pedophiles, just like what is all infested through the Catholic and Christian organisations. It's the same pattern. But people just don't want to recognise it because it's Buddhists. He's got all the right connections in all the right places. That shill Russell Brand, and you know, he's just so funny. Everyone just laughs because he cracks a joke and he's just a funny old man. Look at they're young. People think Buddhism is such a beautiful and peaceful religion. You know, is it really? I mean, people have to understand that all of these philosophies have been corrupted. All of them. And they're all laughing at us. They're having a joke about us. They're probably laughing right now about us, saying, I can't believe they just suck it up so easily. And they're probably talking about what boys they're going to swap later. Because the royals are infested with pedophilia. It's well known, and you can even see it with Prince Andrew and his associations, and that Jimmy Savile, he's well known to the royals. People just don't want to see it. They don't understand how evil they are. They just don't understand how evil they are. And that's why they get away with it, because people cannot imagine such evil could exist. Well, it does. And people better understand that if they don't hook in, the evil is going to eat them up. And even Abraham Lincoln clearly warns about the Jesuit. Not only does he warn about Rome, he actually uses the term Jesuit to specifically tell us, the Jesuit, watch out. And it's not going to be our generation, it's going to be your children's generation, which is now, which is us. And they're coming. But people are too busy arguing about politics, too busy arguing about religion and Muslim and Christian and black and white, and a little girl got arrested at a pool party, and this person over here was white and something horrible happened to them and it wasn't reported because it's racist, and so let's all fight about that, and let's all hate single mothers, and let's all hate Indian men now because they're rapists. Let's all basically let feminists dictate to society what we have to, exist by in their ideals. I mean, it's just these factions everywhere. I mean, don't people see it? There's just these factions that just get played off, and we're just constantly bickering and fighting and arguing about everything. They've got us arguing about everything, and they're all part of it. All of these media outlets are part of it. So people have to identify why Alex Jones never speaks about the Jesuit. Okay, he loves to push the feminism stuff. He loves to pull and push, all the right strings. He's just knowing exactly where to target and keep people distracted. He's just one in alternative media. But then you've got RT and Press TV. They're the same. They're all just pulling different strings. They're all just pushing different buttons. They're all just getting different reactions. And it's all just a big social experiment that they've been doing pretty much since World War II, but pretty much it all started after the Industrial Revolution. Put it this way, it wasn't a revolution. We were tricked. Okay? That's when it all went to shit. And we officially signed over our souls and became slaves. And that's what we are. And these people that say to me, I'm not a slave, I can do what I want. Really? Can you? You just can go and live where you want, and you don't have to pay bills, and you don't have to pay rates or eat food or pay to even have a permit to fish. Or no, you're a slave. Because you have to work to live in this society. And if you don't, you become homeless and a parasite, apparently, according to the rest of the collective. So it's not an avenue you probably want to take. And so therefore, yes, you are enslaved into their Roman delusion. And you know what? The saddest thing is that our chains are all just illusions, because we could all just decide not to go to work tomorrow. If we all just decided we're not going to go to work, down tools, then the whole system would fall in a day. That's why they say Rome falls in a day, because it will. When Rome falls, it will fall in a day. But we could make it fall by just all of us together saying, this is it. We just stop right now. And just nobody goes to work. But it won't happen, because we're all too busy arguing our rights, arguing our interests. And everyone's so brainwashed. I mean, there's just no hope. It's just this train's out of control now. It's going for the broken off bridge. It's no stopping it. So you can either just be someone that looks up from your iPad and you can see and you identify where you're going and jump off the train, and maybe, you might have a better journey. Or you can just stay on the train, looking down, thinking that you're hooked in, and you'll take that path. So good luck. Good luck to people that take that path. I hope it works out for you. That's not the path I'm going to be taking. I'm taking the path where I can actually identify my enemy. I can expect what my enemy is probably going to do. I have an idea that it is going to involve a lot of violence and a lot of bloodshed and a lot of killing of innocents. And it's probably going to be a time when we least expect it, because that's how my enemy like to work. So this is why I think this 4th of July thing probably won't have anything go down, because they seem to be making such this big deal about it. So to me, it isn't really how they work. They like to blindside. All of their big false flags where we've had people killed, you know, through some major event has never been something someone's discussed and found out about before it's occurred. And so it's going to be the same with their other false flags, which are just going to get more violent. But I would still be looking at dates that are like 8, 11, 22. Dates like that are still significant to look at, and they may, you know, do one of these events on a date like that, but you don't know what they're going to do, what they have planned. So really, the best thing is just to limit places where you think that they could target, which is big public areas in major metropolitan cities, which is why it's good to know the numerology of your town's name and see if there's anything significant in the numbers, because as I said, nothing is random what they do. Okay, so nothing's random. If you've got like a town that you live in and the numbers are like 22, 11, 33, 55, any double master numbers like that and any significant numbers, then 36, 48, yeah, you may want to actually start hooking in, because there could be major fuckery coming to a town near you. Eventually it will come to all of our towns, but some of us are going to actually see it before others, just based on their ritualistic bullshit and how they have used the esoteric knowledge and laid it out across our countries, basically. And so it relates to man, but more specifically it relates to divine man, because they hate divine man, because he's going to inherit the kingdom no matter what. And they don't feel that that's fair, because mortals have to actually walk the path of truth and be weighed and deemed worthy. And so this is why they feel entitled to their evil, because they're like spoilt children that feel that they have been cheated. So this is the type of mentality that we're dealing with. And when you understand that more, you are actually able to understand their behaviours and motivations more. And you're not so wandering around trying to understand what the hell is going on, because you know that the world's fallen to shit, but you don't quite know why. Well, it's because they've got knowledge that we don't. They know what's coming, and they're basically turning the whole world to shit, because they're not going to inherit anything. It's going to all just be resolved into itself. The ones that don't pass the weighing of the heart are sucked back into the abyss, and we are reset into a new Zep Tepi. That's what they know. That's what the learned know. And that's what others mock about, because they find this so unbelievable, yet they're willing to believe in UFOs and aliens and ascending to the 20th dimension and whatever other storyline sounds wonderful, anything but a story that shows that we have a responsibility to our journey here, and a responsibility to creation, and a responsibility to our Creator. And we must walk the path of truth and be in alignment with universal law for us to continue to be immortal and be rewarded after these times, these hard times, because we are in a time where we're being tested and we're toiling. And those who toil and continue to do the hard work and not be erred and not be moved off their path are the ones that are rewarded, because they are the ones that have journeyed back to their own divinity and found their crown once again. It's not easy. It's not about meditating in a cave. It's not about reading books. It's about actually using the knowledge and the esoteric sciences and applying them to your experience, to be a good soul and to be here for the Creator and for creation. So that's what people have to understand. And when you can understand that, these types don't have their ability to hide from you anymore and to fool you like they have the unicorn heads, who just cannot grasp the fact that they are not their own gods and that they are part of God's experience, and they need to actually find that path back to their Creator and back to their divinity, or they will never reach enlightenment and they will just continue to fool themselves. So good luck to those people. I will put these links underneath and you can check that out for yourselves. And as always, peace out.